Hi guys, today we're at the South Barn and we're gonna meet 3 of our heifers, Princess, Rooney, and Jojo. All of them are due any day to have their baby calves. Come on in. Hi, so this is Princess. Princess is one of our heifers here at Fluffy Feather Farm. The difference between a heifer and a cow and a bull calf and a bull and a steer are all important things to know. So like Princess here is a heifer, which means she's never had a calf before. A cow is a female that has had, I got my finger. A cow is a female that has had a calf before. Once they're not a heifer and they have a calf, then they become a cow. So on the other side, bull calves, which are calves that are bulls, if they're not castrated, they become bulls. If they do get castrated, then they're steers. So that's the difference. So when we started all of this, I really didn't understand the difference between all of these, and it was very confusing. There's all these different terms for cattle, which is like the generic term. And then when you break it down, everybody's a little different, right? Well, Princess here is a heifer calf who is bred. So that means she is expecting a calf here pretty much any day at this point, right? Okay, I'm running out of treats. About 3 years ago, we came across Princess because I really fell in love with this color. And this is a red-tipped high park, which means that she is part Highland and part white park. And she's red, so she's got all the red spots all over her. And I found one that I really wanted, and somebody else added this cute little heifer calf to their farm before I had an opportunity to add her to our farm. Then I stumbled across Princess because a friend of ours said, hey, I think I know a very similar little heifer available right now. So I called her up and I said, yeah, she's got to be here. So she ended up coming here, obviously, and to this day, she is the smallest member of our herd that we have had here. Princess stands at about 35 inches tall. She is very short. She is chondrodysplasia positive, which means that she has a dwarfism gene. She is kind of artificially smaller because she has that gene that makes her legs shorter than a normal cow would be. Princess's mom, when she was little, did not feed her. So there was some issue where her mom wasn't producing enough milk and she had to be bottle fed. So we got Princess here at the farm when she was only like probably about four or 5 weeks old. We had just moved here. The boys had just started school after spring break, and we used to get up early in the morning to bottle feed the calves before school started. Since Princess is chondrodysplasia positive, we breed her to a chondronegative bull. Milkshake is our chondronegative bull, and obviously you can see why Princess and Milkshake are a good pair together. So a lot of our bulls here are chondropositive, which is why a lot of our cows are chondronegative. However, we have 4 or 5 chondropositive females that we have Milkshake for. All of the 3 heifers that we're gonna see in this video are all chondropositive and have all been bred to Milkshake. A little bit more about Princess. Princess is just about 3 years old. Most of our females, we will wait until they're like 18 to 24 months before we breed them. Princess, actually, we waited a little longer just because she is so tiny. Always for heifers, whether they're chondropositive or negative or small or big, we always want to make sure that their first delivery goes off without a hitch. That's why these 3 girls are here inside of the barn. We want to make sure all of them obviously get the attention that they need, and we want our staff to be able to keep a close eye on them. We want to make sure that we can see them at night. This time of year, and with these specifically, I wake up in a panic every night, usually like at about 2 o'clock in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, and then about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I check the cameras, I make sure there's no issues, I check on all of the pregnant cows that are in the barn, and we just want to make sure that we can keep an eye on them closer here. And we want everybody to get the most attention they can. But especially these, we want to make sure that they're getting lots of attention since they're first-time moms, since they're so small. obviously they're very loving and curious of everything going on. This is Jojo, and Jojo really, really, really likes treats. Jojo is a black mini cow. She's black and she is chondropositive, just like Princess is. So you can tell she is also short. She's shorter than like our normal standard size cows, but she is a little taller than Princess. And you can see that Jojo here, if you've noticed the one difference between Jojo and Princess, other than size and color, is that Jojo has horns. I would say about 95% of the animals on our farm have horns, but Princess, that we just visited, doesn't have horns. She is what's called polled. So her horns weren't removed. We don't remove horns on any of our animals. She genetically doesn't have horns. Jojo here is due also any day. She came to us about the same time that Princess did. The reason that we got Jojo was because Caleb really wanted Jojo. So he saw her and he saw that her name was Jojo and he fell in love because we used to have a Chihuahua at home and his name was Jojo. Jojo was about this tall. He was a super, super little guy. He weighed about 5 pounds. And right before we moved here to the farm, unfortunately, we lost Jojo. Ugh. So Jojo obviously was a special part, of our family. And Caleb really, really had an attachment to him. That's why Jojo the cow here is now on the farm, because Caleb obviously pulled on my heartstrings. As you can see, he was super important to us and our family. And Jojo the cow now kind of lives on in his memory. And every time I come out here, I look at her and I kind of think about, why she's here, and I think about Caleb. And when she was little, Caleb was like in charge of making sure Jojo was fed and watered and taken care of. And now that Jojo's gotten bigger, obviously she's kind of outgrown him a little bit. But the farm staff and I watch over Jojo, and then Caleb loves to come out here and visit Jojo and feed her treats and hang out with her. That's why Jojo's here. Jojo's expecting a milkshake calf, just like Princess is. And I'm super excited because you can see like how fluffy Jojo is. You know how curly and fluffy Milkshake is. And the two of them together are gonna make these awesome, exceptional calves. But we have one more that we need to visit. Let's go and check out Rooney, because she's our third heifer that's here in the barn. This is Rooney, and Rooney and I have spent so much time together. When she was a calf, she was like my little buddy. Every time I came into the barn, Rooney would walk up to me and want to be scratched and petted, and she would not leave me alone until I would comb her and scratch her and pet her and give her treats. And you can see that pretty much nothing has changed in the past 3 years. So Rooney loves lots of attention. She is super sweet. She just wants to be combed and petted and brushed all the time. So when we got Princess from the farm that we got Princess from, about 6 months later, the lady who owned that farm gave me a call and said, hey, I have another one that you might be interested in. She's super special. She's really unique colored, and I think she might be a good addition to your farm. So she sent me a picture, and this is the picture that I got. And of course, I immediately fell in love. Rooney here was the coolest little color. She's actually what we would call roan colored. She's kind of like this marbled brown and white color, and she is different from any other heifer or cow, or somebody's trying to eat the treats out of the container. Saw that coming. Okay, so see, that's what happens when you leave the treats on the top of the wall and the cows get tall enough to reach them with their tongue. Rooney is this really unique color, like I was saying. She's roan colored, so she's like this marbled, like brown and white color, which is unlike any other animal we have on the farm. None of our other animals are colored like her. She's very, very unique. And she also is chondropositive, although she is much taller than most of our other chondropositive heifers. She stands at about like 38 inches tall. Well, she's a little bigger, but she carries that chondro gene, which is really, really cool. But she is bred to Milkshake. But when you think about like Milkshake and all his fluffy white curls, and then you think of Rooney with her roan-colored fur, I cannot wait to see what their calves look. I know, right? You are gonna have the coolest looking calf, you know that? I'm hoping that we get another really cool roan-colored calf out of Rooney, but we could get a number of different things. Rooney has kind of some, different mixes in her that we might not know exactly what her parentage was, from when she was little. So her parents were Highlands. Which is weird because she has this very unique color. Somewhere in her past genetics, there were introduced, a different color or a different breed that obviously introduced this really unique, cool coloring to her. And I'm hoping that she passes that on to her calf because how cool would it be to have a little baby Rooney running around, huh? Rooney, like I said, the lady that we got Princess from called me and said, do you want another calf that's really cute and small? And that's how Rooney ended up here. So we actually bottle fed Rooney here on the farm also, and she was raised here. She probably got here when she was about 2 months old too. She's been my little buddy ever since she got here, and I can't wait to see what your calf looks like, you know that? Those are the 3 heifers that are due here in the barn right now. We met Princess, we met Jojo, and this is Rooney, and all of them are due here in the next couple of weeks, and they're gonna be in here, and we're gonna keep an eye on them until they have their little calves. And remember, obviously you can follow us here on YouTube and see all of our videos, but if you want real-time updates on these 3 and their calves, you can always join the herd,